This week's parsha is Parshas Pinchas. In Parshas Pinchas, the Torah discusses the very unique way the land of Israel was inherited, how it was split up. Now, normally the way it works is if, let's say, a person dies and he has 6 acres of land and 5 kids, then what happens is the firstborn will take a double portion, like the Torah says. The firstborn gets a double portion. He'll get 2 acres. The other kids will get 1 acre. It's 5 kids, 6 acres, 2 acres to the firstborn, and 1 acre for all the other kids. Now, when it came to the land of Israel, it was exactly the opposite, meaning that normally what happens is that those who are alive inherit from the one who has passed. 6 acres of land to the father, 5 kids. Those 6 acres are now split up amongst the 5 kids with a double portion for the firstborn. When it came to the land of Israel, it was entirely different. Let's say you have like this. You have Aaron, has 2 kids, Shmerel and Beryl. And his 2 kids one has 4 kids and one has 8 kids. Shmerel has 4 kids and Beryl has 8 kids. So, let's say each one of those kids is deserving, according to the splitting of the land, of 1 1/4 acre. 1 1/4 acre, totaling 16 acres. Right? 16 acres. So you would say, okay, fine, so figure it out. 1 1/4 acre for each kid. Those who enter the land of Israel should deserve 1 1/4 acre. That is incorrect. That's not the way it worked. What is true, though, is that the family allotment, I mean Aaron's family's allotment, was 16 acres. Now, remember, those who exited Egypt, who left Egypt, did not enter Eretz Yisrael. If they were over the age of 20, they did not survive. They did not make it to the land of Israel. So Aaron left Egypt. Shmerel and Beryl were his kids, and his grandchildren are now these 12 kids. 4 for Shmerel and 8 for Beryl. And the family allotment is 16 acres. So the Gemara says like this. You take those 16 acres that were deserving as a single individual for each one of those 12 grandchildren, and now you give it back to Aaron. And then it trickles down from him, meaning that 16 acres was Aaron's. And now those 16 acres are split between his 2 kids, Shmerel and Beryl. Each one gets 8 acres. Now Shmerel's kids, Shmerel, who had 4 kids, his kids will now get 2 acres. And Beryl's kids, Beryl had 8 kids, they will only get 1 acre. Even though what they deserved by themselves, not considering their grandfather, was 1 1/4 acre. Why is this way? How does this work? Well, why are we taking 2 different individuals and trying to make them inherit the same thing and moving it back and forth and up and down? We're taking the how much they're supposed to get from those who entered the land of Israel, and how it's split up is going back to their grandfather Aaron, then trickling back down to the grandkids. And then it's going to end up in the uneven. Why should it be that way? Sanzer Fuller says a very simple and straightforward answer. God promised those who left Egypt that they would inherit the land of Israel. They didn't deserve to enter the land of Israel because they sinned. But Hashem promised that they would inherit the land of Israel, and that's what happened. Their grandchildren were the reason why their family was allotted 16 acres. But they were the ones who inherited the land of Israel. When they left Egypt, those 16 acres was theirs, and was then inherited to their kids, Shmerel and Beryl. 6 and 6, 8 and 8 each, right? 16 acres, Aaron owned, and now to Shmerel and Beryl goes 8 each. Shmerel has 4 kids. His kids get 2 acres each. Beryl has 8 kids. Each of his kids get 1 acre. And the reason why is because Hashem was fulfilling what he promised. He promised that they would inherit the land of Israel, and so it was. This week's written Devar Torah is discussing the paradox of what Pinchas was. Pinchas, of course, is the person who killed the prince of Israel, who was engaging in an extremely sinful and public act, and Pinchas takes his spear and kills the prince of Israel, a very audacious and very notorious act, infamous act, I guess you could say, and how to understand what does it mean to be a zealot, and why was he given such brachos, such blessings from God for doing this act. This week's Devar Torah is in memory of my dear friend and Chavrusa, Rabbi Bowen. Have a good Shabbos.